bottom. Top to bottom.
This one is straight on tumbling. I'm water. Everything is not funny. They will play before. I play. My neighbor press ball. He goes the ball apart.
ABC. Nigeria. From top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
This one is straight on tumbling. I'm water. Everything is not funny. They will play before. I play. My neighbor press ball.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening edition of Friday Hangout with MaaziEzeoke. I welcome you all wherever you are watching me from, especially those of you in the diaspora. As the introduction says, Nigeria has gone from top to bottom. In my Hangout today, I will have a guest, and that guest will have to talk on security, on how he was kidnapped. That guest this evening will be no other person than Ambassador Spencer Chike Anienwelu. He is a Nigerian who lives in the United Kingdom. He hails from Ogidi in Idemili, Anambra State. By profession, a highway engineer and also the CEO of Prime View Television, London. Nigeria indeed has gone from top to bottom as it concerns security. I am once more MaaziEzeoke, and welcome to my evening hangout. As it is customary to this station, when we start, and as we have started, go grab yourself something to drink. You know, I greet you all. Many of my friends from Germany, I say guten Abend, schönen guten Abend, wie geht's euch? And many of you from the United Kingdom, I say, oi, good evening, how are you? And many of you from the Yoruba nation, I say, ekaro. And in Dinkem, the dotted ones, the dot nation, I say, keduko numalum. Wherever you are, welcome once more to MaaziEzeoke. And here we are, where we have my guest, as I said to you, the CEO of Prime View TV, and I welcome Spencer. Welcome, Spencer.
Welcome, Mazi. Thank you for having me.
It's nice seeing you. Which flag is this that you've adored on your chest?
Well, I didn't mean it to be a flag. Am I flying some colors I didn't know about? It looks like Biafra somehow, isn't it? Green, red, yellow. I think it's Biafra, yes.
Okay. Is it? But there is something missing. I think there is a green missing. If that's what
the green is in the background. Then can you see the green?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Spencer. No.
Yes. Lalo?
No. Feel at home. You know, my Friday hangouts normally. If I'm on the Ground Zero, I normally do my Friday hangout with a keg of palm wine.
Normally, yeah. Okay.
We do it, you drink. So if you do not have anything to drink, we will go on a break, and I would want you to go grab yourself something to drink, please.
Okay.
That is we'll come back now.
Okay, that
Iyelele, Aniekunie, Iyelele, Aniabata, Iyelele, Ona Potu, Cha Iyelele, Fanene, Akaneti Iwa, Tidelu me Wamo, Onu de Buaja, Ubelu Moja Mo.
So welcome back. Now I have, I can see you have something to drink, and I
Yes.
also have something to drink.
Yes, it's just a glass of wine.
That's why it is a hangout. You know,
Yes.
we hang out, we talk about things that are really affecting us. So how do we start? I would say let's start from the beginning. Spencer, Igbo Anambra. Where exactly do you come from in Anambra State?
Thanks, Mazi. I'm from Ogidi, in Anambra State, and Ogidi is in yes, and Ogidi is in Idemili North local government. They said
But, you know, when you do Idemili, forget North and South. Idemili is Idemili. We know.
Okay, true. I'm just being politically correct there, you know, so we can know exactly where we're from, but the way it's broken down. Idemili North, you know, like Idemili as a whole. Yes, I wouldn't Idemili. You know, and you said you're my in-law. Okay, guys, brother. Okay.
Okay. Now, let's you know how let me start this way. In the last couple of months, we have seen our state of Anambra plunge from that which Muhammadu Buhari describes from top to bottom in terms of insecurity. I was home, I was in Anambra a couple of weeks ago. You cannot believe it. My mode of movement was keke. At some point, I said to myself, this madness is no longer funny because everyone is living in fear. So, and here you are. You were in that state for how long?
I was in Anambra State, well, in Nigeria as a whole well, I went in early March, the first week of March, and I returned. I only came back last week, so 5 months, I would say.
And you came back last week. Was that your intention to come back, or were you forced to come back?
Well, I had to run home. You know where I call home now? I call London home at the moment.
That's a tragedy.
I had to run home to safety because home is where your heart is, where you feel safe. So that's, I was a tragedy. Yeah, very terrible. I was at home. Home where I thought in my heart I was, that I called home, my village. Where else could you feel most safe or most secure than your village? The tranquility of the village. I was in Nigeria last year, 2 years ago really, for the burial, my mom's, late mom's burial, and that was when I had a real feel for the first time for my village, and I really, really, warmed to the place, and I said, from now on, because my father was still there in Nigeria and Ogidi, I thought I'll be going home more often just to, get acquainted with my own and everything. So for me, it was all well and good. Safe. I felt so safe. I felt good. I mixed up with people, like you said, moving around with keke and all that. I had my car, but I would I have a motorbike as well. I'll use keke. I'll move around everywhere. Up until what happened to me. I told you there were 2 incidents. The first incident, we're going to come to it eventually, but yeah, the shooting.
Like me. Asina a bujoluna kwaba, and my ancestral home is my aku that I cannot do without, sleeping, enjoying that place. But sadly, we now sleep like this.
One eye open. Yeah.
That is it. Now let's go back and start from the beginning. You said you had 2 incidents. One was a proper kidnap, and the other was an encounter. Let's start with the lesser evil.
Yes.
What actually happened?
Well, both of them are terrible in themselves. But like, let's say even I'll call it the first one that happened. The first one that happened was in I think first or second week of May. That's when it happened. Even I think Chinedu Peter has covered it. BVI Channel 1, he covered it as well. I was unfortunate to run into an armed robbery incident. It just a stone throw from my compound along that road. If you know Ogidi very well, is from Ugunwa to get down to Abatete. That road it's a tarred road all the way. The road that was built by former Governor Ngige. Beautiful road, neat. I never had any problems. I was always safe. This evening, we were coming back from Onitsha, came in, and we saw people slowing down. We didn't know. I'm just going to tell the story. We didn't know it was an armed robbery in progress. We felt it was an accident that happened. But this was in broad daylight. It wasn't dark. I'm telling you, it was about 6:30 in the evening. So it was getting a little bit dark, but it wasn't dark. We could still see people walking around and all that. People were driving around. Motorcycles were driving past. So unfortunately for us, we ran into that incident. We didn't know it was an armed robbery in progress. So the driver that was driving me overshot our right-hand turn. The incident was happening on the left. And in Nigeria, we drive on just for those who don't understand, we drive on the right-hand side in Nigeria. Exactly. So it was happening on this side. So we were going this way. And it was happening on the left-hand side. It's so outside the place called Ukumango. Everyone knows it. Just before Eurogold Hotel in Ogidi. And the driver just engaged his reverse because we overshot the right-hand turn. Next minute, what we heard was a loud, almighty bang from the car. Boy! Honestly, immediately what got into my head.
Hold on. Is that the red car that you sent me the picture?
Yes, the red car is my vehicle. Yes, I don't know if you can show it here. Some video clips. That red car, that's the car I was in.
Stop by. Cannot stop us. I'm a lot of rush. Hey,
so what's actually happening? Let's just put it off. So go on.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't able to see the video anyway, but I don't know if the viewers can see it. But yeah, so when the blast happened, I was shocked, taken aback. I didn't know what to do. I instantly opened the door and ran away. No, I'm running into the nearby bushes and up and I'll run and fall and I'm telling you, it's traumatic to say the least. And then while that was happening, all I could hear was the car was going like someone that was, because I had blood all over me. I looked at my driver. He was slumped over towards where the gas stick is in the car. So I was thinking, I'm going to die. Maybe he's been shot dead. So quickly I jumped out, ran away. And all I could hear was the noises that was happening. And I ran into one of my uncle's house. One of my Uncle Sunday. That was where I took refuge. And I was so afraid. So there was a search party looking for me because they thought I was killed. What happened was what was happening was an armed robbery in progress. So I only got to find out what happened later on. When everything died down, because I supplied our village, and I shared walkie-talkies. This is something we need to talk about. We need to all start empowering our communities. The walkie-talkie I shared was what helped me because I immediately took it out of my pocket, radioed and said, Oguagu, I'm from Oguagu in Ogidi. That's my sorry, when you told me to introduce myself really properly, where I'm from. I'm from Ogidi, but inside Ogidi, I'm from Uru Ogidi. And inside Uru Ogidi, there's Oguagu Ogidi. That's where my village, that's my main village. And in the kindred, Umumpolom, we break it down as Igbo.
Yes.
Umumpolom, and then down to my family name is called the Anienwelu family. That's how you trace me. And this is a real thing. So I start calling and saying, Oguagu, because when they done. Did you hear, is anyone there? Did you hear what the gunshot? And somebody responded. Yes, I know they.
On the radio.
Yes, on the radio, because I shared, what happened was, after going back to Nigeria for my mom's burial, I realized that security was a problem. So myself and my brother here in the UK, we put money together and bought walkie-talkies. Walkie-talkie, radio, you should know what walkie-talkies are. So, yes. And we shared it.
How many, how far, what's the frequency?
It goes up to a mile radius. So the whole idea was for it to be used within our own village, you know, and we're able to link with security operatives and all of that, vigilante and all of that, in case we have something. So that was my little idea. And it was very well welcomed by our villagers and all that. So that actually helped me on the day. So I didn't know it would turn around to help me. You know, I was just thinking I was doing it for them. But I didn't know it would help me because on the day, because everywhere I go, I have mine in my pocket. You know, and obviously people in the village, they don't know how to use it. So on that day, I quickly took out my walkie-talkie, radioed, and they responded. And then that was my cousin. He's now said to me, Chike came in, where are you? Where are you? That they heard the bang and he's gonna come out. So the mobilized forces, they all came out with their guns, all the vigilante guys came out and they started telling me over the radio. They wanted to know where I was, but I was so afraid to even disclose my own location. So I said to them, don't worry about me. Where's my car? What's happened to everyone else? Well, you know? And then they started
No, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
you can see this. Yeah, you can see I hope it plays well. I don't know why it's not playing, but you know, these are the vigilante guys that came. That was the next day. But my vehicle ended up in the gutter. So what happened was it was an armed robbery in progress, and we were unfortunate to have turned up when it was happening. So the guy that was narrating to me what happened was the guy that had his vehicle stolen, his Corolla. You know, in Nigeria, what we realize now in the southeast, if you have a Corolla, Lexus, Camry, right, and even what's the other one, Sienna, those cars are hot cake for these criminals. I don't know what they do. I heard that the Corolla engine is used for speedboats and all of that. So Mbuka, you know, there's Mbuka, which is not far from Ogidi. So these criminals are out on the prowl. There's no police checkpoints anywhere. On this road, you can see the third road. On this road, all the way, this road leads you into Imo State. That's one of the jobs in the wonderful job, wonderful road that should be used for good things. This road leads you to Oka, leads you to Oruku, it leads you to Ojoto, Idane, everywhere.
No, hold on. Which road is this? Hold on. This is the road that goes through Ogidi to Abateta. Is that the road?
Yes. Exactly, from Ugunwashike.
So when you continue on this road, you come to you bust out at you know, if you're heading to after what's it called again? Oruku, is it the same?
Yes,
road?
It goes all the way from Ekago Abatete, all the way to Oruku. It goes all the way all the way. It's a major link road from Onitsha. It links from Boromi roundabout straight down to Ball Road. From there, you get to the place called Ugunwashike. From there, there's a free. It splits up into three. One goes towards the building material and the express. The other one goes to the old road, but towards the Ogidi. Then this one is the one on the right that goes towards Abatete. It's called Abatete Road, and it's tarred all the way, well tarred, built by Giga. You can see the drainage. I wish the video could play properly. You'd see it well done, and it's a good infrastructure put in. But the point is, criminals are using these roads now. Because why? Because there are no police. There's no police presence at all.
So why do you think there are no police presence anymore? You know, because hold on, you hear people say we don't want police, we don't want the army on the road. But here you are sitting down complaining that the lack of police presence appear to be an issue.
Yes. Now let me tell you something. I was opportune to drive around Nigeria this time around, right? I drove my vehicle to Uyo. That was when I went to Uyo. I was now saying that, but we need to look at ourselves. We need to do a serious introspection. Uyo is like Abuja. I was shocked. Now, I drove around. I drove to Lagos. I drove to Kaduna. I got around. I'm in the media, right? I have footages and all that. Now, when I drove around, what I noticed in the Southeast, most especially in the South. When I mean the Southeast, I mean the 5 Igbo states. There's hardly any police presence. Now, this is because of what was been going on. We know what was happening in terms of kill police. When you see police on the road, kill police, blah, blah. And on this same road, this is my road. Okon, I knew him, policeman. I knew him because, you know, in Nigeria, you can't get away from it. You're driving around, policemen will see you, because on my road, in front of my house, there's always a checkpoint. Anyone that knows that road will know where there's a checkpoint on that road. Everywhere bumps. We even took out the bumps in the end. The youths in our village in Ogidi. Once you get to Ogidi, Ogidi, where there's a school, there's police bumps there. Everyone knows where the police knock. When the police knock there. People know. Anyone using that road knows where the police stay. Those policemen, one of them was shot dead. Okoli, allegedly by unknown government or whatever. But they shot him dead. He was killed. And after that, and it was on a Monday, still at home day. After that, people became afraid. And not just that, prior to all this, from last year, the presence of police, I kept on telling people, there's no police in the Southeast. You know, don't forget that infrastructure were being damaged. Ministries were being burnt. Houses were being, police and soldiers were being killed. So naturally, what would they do? They'll tell their people to retract. Everybody to stay in the. So policemen were now staying in the barracks instead. They call barracks in their stations. Military were put down back in the barracks. So the roads were now left bare. Those are Igbo. The roads in Igbo now are left. There's no security. And when I talk about security, the security of the federal forces are hardly there because they are afraid. The police are still human beings. Understand? If a policeman could be killed and shot dead on this road, we saw the images. I don't know if you saw it. I wish it was shared. And you know, these days, because YouTube and Facebook have banned showing blood and all that, if not, it would have been all over the place. But it was shared on WhatsApp, right? Police presence in the South is non-existent. I mean, the Mazi, you should know yourself. You should attest to that. Non-existent.
Yes, of course.
Yes, police was bad. Yes, police. We talk about police taking bribe and all that. But I'm telling you, when I was driving around Nigeria, right, and I would drive for miles sometimes, and I wouldn't see a presence of the police. After a while, I'd get scared. I'd be saying, "Why are you kidnappers catch me here? What would happen?" Because then while you're driving away, like you see police presence, you want a checkpoint. Once you see checkpoint, in your head, you say to yourself, "Glory be to God," because now you know that. At least, even if you need to give them whatever, 1,000 or 2,000 naira just to get a pass, it's worth it. I'm telling you, that's the mindset. But now in the Southeast as a whole, there's nobody. So these criminals could drive from Onitsha now, from Boromir roundabout, all the way down. And I'm going to come to rubbish. The state of rubbish in Anambra State, right? I know the governor's trying his best at the moment. He's trying to clear it, but the refuse heap along the road, God, with another story. That's another story. But driving away from Oruku all the way, Boromir roundabout in Onitsha towards the front bar. I'm talking about this is a long distance, all the way to even Imo State Express or Oba. No police presence, none. Then you can head it all the way to Oka, no police checkpoint. All the way to Oruku and further. No, you're even going all the way to as far as the Navy. Nobody on the road. I'm telling you, I'm driving all these roads. Nobody. There's no police presence, no checkpoint, nothing. So criminals are aware. They know these things. So they get in their vehicle along these roads. They'll carry out all manner of atrocity, do whatever they want on the dark patches. Because outside this road at night, I tried my best. I put in some street lights for us in the place, but it kept on being sabotaged. I don't know, every now and again the street lights will stop working. Every now and again they stop working. And I was wondering, I'll go and replace them, but they'll stop. So this time around, I was trying to put some solar ones in there. But just before this incident of kidnapping happened, that was when, but what they do is they pick the dark spots, the dark patches along that road. Igbozi tried his best along that road, but before, it used to be lit all the way to Ezeoke and all of that, lit every day at night. But suddenly, recently, I don't know if the funding or whatever happened, since the advent of Toledo, there's no more lights on those roads. So I don't know what's going on with this new administration. And most of these problems that happened came after this administration came in. It's become a lot worse. So I don't know what's happening. They need to really rejig the stuff with what's going. So I don't know. I'm going to let you have a talk now and ask me another question. But in terms of security and police, once you see police on the road now, for me, once I see police at the moment in anywhere in the Southeast, I feel better because I know that it's a lawless society at the moment.
Okay. Now, in the first incident that happened, you ran into an armed robbery ongoing. You guys tried reversing your car. There is a video that I wish it will play now. I don't know what's happening, but it showed how that car the glass was shattered from the back and even the windscreen. Could you take us through what exactly happened? So when you ran into them, did your driver tried moving back?
Yes.
Or what?
So
at what point they shot? Hold on. Did they shoot first, or your driver was reversing back before they shot? How come they shot from the?
Yeah. So what happened was this story was now being narrated to me by the guy that had his car. Okay, he had his car stolen, right? His Corolla. But obviously, I'm new to the well. I wouldn't say new. Most people in the village know me, but I don't know everyone. So what the guy said that happened was that he was waiting for someone, right, along that road next to Ukumango there, along Ogidi before Eurogold. Everyone knows it on the right. Everybody had my own quarter where they sell palm wine and all that. He was waiting for someone there, and suddenly he saw this vehicle pull up in front of him, a Lexus, reversed back in front of him, and one of the occupants, I think the passenger, came out with a gun, walked towards him, and told him to come out his car. So he came out, and the guy told him to get into their vehicle, and he refused. He said, "Why should I get into your vehicle? What have I done?" And suddenly they started beating him up, slapping him, and they, searched him, took out, the money he had in his pocket, and then told him to lie down. So while he was about to lie down, he suddenly saw my car turn up. So when my car turned up, he said he thought it was a vigilante vehicle that came, and suddenly he saw it going backwards as well. So our vehicle came, started going backwards. And I explained to you the reason why we were going backwards. We were going backwards because we were shot this right. I wish the video could play properly. The right where these guys see that right hand turn, see the video. That road on the right was where we were trying to go into. Right? So the driver engaged in reverse. So the guy on the floor said he saw us going back.
Now to understand this better, if the driver had known that this is the culvert he was going to use, if he had gone in, you probably wouldn't have known that there was a robbery. Nothing would have happened.
Exactly.
So it's and because the driver
no, but the reason why he overshot the turn was because we were looking. I said to him, if I heard when we're an accident, I said to him, it looks like there's an accident here, blah blah. So all of us were quite, quick trying to find out what happened. So while we were looking at it, he overshot the right hand turn towards his house. So he did a reverse back while he was reversing back. But from what the guy told me, the guy that had his car stolen said to me that while we were doing that reverse back, one of the occupants of the car, of the armed robbers, was now shouting, "Can you watch? What? Look, watch this guy. What's he doing? Can you?" So suddenly, the guy that was standing in the road, he obviously had him down on the floor. The tall guy, I couldn't miss him. I remember him, tall. He turned with his gun and fired at our car. That's what happened. And shot at our car because he felt we were coming back to him. I think he said, the guy on the floor said that from the way we appeared, we looked like we were vigilante people or something, or security men. Because there was four men, there were four of us. Myself, the driver, and two other guys at the back. So he said, when the way we appeared, we looked like security people. So when we started reversing back.
And when they shot, at that point, when they shot, what then happened? Did you sped up or you continued turning back? What happened?
No, yeah, when they shot, obviously all this happened within seconds, split seconds. All I heard was a loud bang. Why? And when I heard that bang, I knew it was my car because I heard the noise. Like the glass, the shattering noise of the glass. So I openly flung my door open. I was in the front. You can see the vehicle that ended up in the ditch. I was at the driver's side, the front passenger side. I opened my door and ran out straight away. I wasn't even thinking. I headed down that road you saw, and I started running into the bushes, and because it was dark, it was a bit dark now. It wasn't daylight, it wasn't as bright as this. It was a bit dark then. So I ran, fell, and got up. So the car ended up in the ditch because the driver obviously engaged with us and carried on. Because when I don't know, when you hear a bang, a gunshot bang, my brother, it's scary. So immediately he heard it, he went down, and his foot was still on the accelerator. So he carried on, and then ended up in the gutter. That's what happened. And all the guys at the back all jumped out as well. They jumped out. One ended up, all three of them in the end ended up in hospital.
And when you guys jumped out, none of you, they didn't shoot again at this point.
No, what he said was the guy with the gun kept on cocking the gun. The gun had a problem. Kept on cocking the gun and putting another bullet in, cocking it. So he kept on reversing back. So he felt that the guy actually was there. He wanted to kill him. So that's when he himself ended up in the gutter, jumped out into the gutter and ran away and left the car there. You understand?
So
that's what happened.
there would have,
So all of us were dispersed.
If the gun had worked, there would have been more.
Maybe he could have fired another shot. We don't know. That's the truth. So that's what saved us, really. But for me, I wasn't there to see all this now. I was already, I already took flight. You know, I was already disappeared from the scene. That statement. But we still have to give a statement. So this was my experience.
You used your leg to bail yourself.
But I'm telling you, that day, right? I'm telling you, I had blood all over me. So I was wondering, I thought I was shot. So I ran into my uncle's house and I was screaming, because tell me, I need water. My uncle saying, well, calm down, what's wrong with me? I said to him, look, I've been shot, there's blood. My uncle started looking at my body. Whoa, what you do? I said, no. So eventually they poured some water over me, and then there was obviously no blood coming out of my body. That was when we knew that I wasn't hit. There must have been blood from the other guy, the driver, who, in fact, he had some bullets, pellets in his head. He still has them till today. He hasn't taken them out even. So that's the video you can see, the tipper that dragged my car at the gutter in the end, dragging it back to my compound, you see. And this, incidentally, out where my car is now was where I was kidnapped. See, that's why I wish the video could show it now. See where my car is now? This was where I came in the evening. So that's going to lead us to the second story. I came in the evening. This was last 2 weeks Sunday now. This happened. I came in and I was parked there waiting for the gate to be opened. What did I see? They blocked me here. See there where that guy is? That's where they blocked me. This same vehicle blocked me because I had to fix the car. I took the car to a garage, fixed it up. It cost me nearly 200 and something thousand to spray it all up, fix it. All the damage, change everything. That's the only vehicle I had. So I had to, either fix it or buy another one. I felt it'd be cheaper to fix it. But this same spot where the armed robbers came, the kidnappers came. I'm not sure. I'm not happy with the video.
Let's move. I mean, that was thank God that was a near miss. The first instance. When exactly was that?
This was on the first week of May, I'd say. It was 2 weeks after my wedding. Yeah.
Now, and when was your kidnap? When did your kidnap happen?
Then the kidnap happened last 2 Sundays ago. So, today is Friday. Not this Sunday gone. The one before last Sunday.
That's
so that was on the 3rd. On the 3rd of July.
On the 3rd of July, okay.
Yes.
Now, can you take us the story, through that exactly what happened? You said at this point, that you, from your story, you got up to this point. You basically in this same car at this same point, and you are the one driving, right?
Exactly.
So you've just basically coming out of these the culvert. You're now trying to get into your house.
Yes.
So what happened? Did anybody double cross you from the back or from front?
Yes.
What exactly happened?
Yes. What happened was I went out on the day. Well, it was during the day. I went out to have something to eat, and I was coming back around the same time, around just 7 or just about 7-ish. So I was coming along this same road from Tina's. If you know it, ask anybody. There's a hotel called Tina's Hotel. It's one of the biggest hotels in Ogidi. Well, I'll say in the whole of that exists. In the Demony, really. It does nightclubs, but I wasn't coming from Tina's Hotel. I was coming from that same Ogunwasike route, coming down. I dropped someone off at around building material. Pardon me, and I was coming back. It was I was with a girl and my girlfriend and her friend. So we dropped her friend off. On the way back down with my girlfriend, we were coming towards my house. So suddenly, as we were coming closer, there's a place called Ogidi. It's not far from my compound. We now, my girlfriend started said like something's happened wrong. She started feeling like we're being followed or something. So I kept on looking. It was a bit dark as well. So I kept on looking behind the mirror. I said to her, there's no one there. You can see what happened to the vehicle. I said to her, there was no one there that there's nothing to worry about. So while I was coming, I was showing her that, look, our area is so dark at night and, it's quite dangerous and all this. While immediately I pulled up, waiting for my gate man to open the gate. Because I normally, before I come in, I'll call or radio and they'll open the gate for me. Immediately pulled in to wait a few seconds for the gate to be opened. A vehicle pulled up behind me. It was a Jeep. The vehicle pulled up behind me with 3 men coming out one of them had a gun, one had a knife, and one had a hammer. The one with the hammer came around to the passenger side and was threatening and said, open the door now, open it now. The other one had a gun. He didn't fire the gun, but he showed me there's a pump action, a big gun, big, massive gun. And then the other one had a knife. So they told me to get down. I got down, got down quickly. They, quickly told me, get down. So I think I was a bit, if I remember, slightly taller than the guy that told me to get down. So I tried to get down, but he now kicked me a bit and slammed his knife on my back. Boy! So when he slammed on my back, I had to go down. I was scared then. And I said, please, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I wasn't speaking English because I had to speak Igbo. I wasn't even trying to do London one or nothing, or even any Igbo pure. That's what's power. That saved me. Because then I said, get up. They searched me quickly. Blah, blah, blah. Told me to get up, get out. So I got up. They told me to get into their car. They had a car. It was like a Jeep, a silver ML, Mercedes ML. They had. So they told me to go into their vehicle. I got into it. And then I could hear, because they got me into the, put your head down. They were, threatening me, put your head down, bro. So I put my head down, and I could hear my girlfriend then saying, please, because no. They now pushed her, and I felt her on my body. They pushed her onto me, she was holding me. And then they told her to put her head down. The other guy came in, and the car was squashed. I couldn't see because I was scared. I was afraid. So I was saying to them, where am I? So I was like, we didn't do anything. Please don't kill us, don't shoot us. So suddenly they drove off. The guy in the front now started saying to me, where's your phone? Where's your phone? Can you go and give an account? How much you have? Where's your phone? So I now said to the guy, my phone's in my car. That it was in my car. So suddenly they stopped. Instantly they did a U-turn, came back to the car. One of them came out to look for the phone, searched and came back and said he only saw one phone. The phone he saw was my girlfriend's phone. And he started saying that, he saw my girlfriend throw something out of the car. Nobody, I need to say all this in Igbo because that's how it would happen. It happened in Igbo language. So I need to narrate it the same way, So, said that he saw something. So instantly they started beating my girlfriend, saying that she's a very wicked woman. They were calling her my wife anyway. Hey, your wife, this and that. Very wicked woman. How can she go? Now they're gonna rape her. They're gonna do all manner of stuff. And I'll plead him saying, please don't. They said, guys, you better stop. That I'm gonna be dead. They're gonna kill me. But they'll find my body, dead body. That this and that. That the people that sent them told them I need to give them 10 million. If not, they'll kill me. So I was saying to them, please, I haven't done anything wrong to anybody. And what boy, we couldn't happen. I'm not the one you want. So, I was saying that to them. And then all this time, we know they took us and drove off. And they were driving around, threatening us. Every now and again, the guy in the car would be banging the hammer on me, but they were speeding around. And these guys were high on something. They were angry. These guys, hi, bam, bam, bam. They were very angry. And then they kept on. There was someone they were meant to meet. There was somebody they were meant to meet. So they would call on the phone. Where are you? Blah, blah, blah. So there was a syndicate. There was some connection. And they mentioned Alaji and Abuja. They was the name they were mentioning. And then the guy that held me down suddenly started speaking Hausa. Hey, my Gareja, man, I know they hear Igbo, this and that. I said to him, guy, I ain't telling Igbo. I don't know because I could tell his voice. He tried to change his voice to Hausa and start speaking Hausa. So, I'll say Hausa because he started speaking to be politically correct, he started speaking a northern language. I don't know if it's Hausa or Fufude or whatever. All I know is it sounds like Hausa to me. I know what Hausa sounds like. So I started saying to him, Ranky, then blah, blah. The other guy said, come on, keep quiet there. I will break your head with this hammer, blah, blah. So they kept on threatening me. So we kept on driving and driving. They told my girlfriend to open her phone with a PIN number. So my girlfriend scarcely gave it to them. They said, how much you have in your balance? How much you have? She told them she only had 6,000. And she spent all her money yesterday, blah, blah. They said, you better tell the truth. She said, check, you see the balance. So they checked, they kept quiet. They now started turned on me. They said, guy, you better start talking now. You now, blah, blah. So they started saying to me, I need to tell them someone to call that they can get that kind of money from, because that's the only way they'll leave me. If not, they're going to kill me. So I said to them, I don't have my phone. You guys, you didn't wait enough to get a phone, to go back and pick my phone up. So there's nothing I can do at the moment. But there's a name I'm going to give them. So I told them a name of one of my uncles in the village, that could help. So they ignored me. They didn't say anything. They just pretended they you know, that they didn't hear me. So they now came to me, "Okay, you tell you Goku." This was about 3 hours into the journey, driving around, and you know, because and they had an argument. So all this time I was praying, I was saying, "God, please, God, please, what time I want, take out this temptation. You put confusion in their midst." So they kept on arguing among themselves. They would call some guy on the phone. The guy would say, I just came to that location. Where were you guys? Suddenly they'll be shouting. This guy was shouting, "Kebuno, I don't like doing this kind of business. I don't like even the business. Kebuno, blah, 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 blah." So it looked like they were meant to meet somebody else for something. I don't know, maybe to drop us off, or I don't know what it was. But the guy couldn't meet them. So eventually they met up with the guy. Because how I knew was suddenly they met up. He now came at the guy and said, "I'm going to kill you now. What's wrong? You guys messing about with me? Do you know who I am? I'm doing about." You know, so they were shouting and shouting at each other. And then suddenly, they decided, I said, "Move." It looked like, it felt like other people came into the car. Shift. So they shifted. And then we drove around for another hour or so. And then suddenly the car stopped. And then when the car stopped, they now told my girlfriend to come down. "Get down." I said, "Madam, come down." So I tried to get, because I was leaning like this. I was leaning all this time for 3 hours. Me and my girl were leaning. We couldn't see where we were going. They now told us to get out of the car. So I tried to get up. They told me, "Oh, yeah, well, you're gonna bring my head." You know, these guys were just high on something, whatever they call it, drug, cocaine, whatever. So they were hyped. They now said to me to come down. I came down. The guy said to me, "Push me." He said, "Big man like you, this and that." He said, "Go move." Now we were now in a block industry. This place was like sandy. You know, sandy, Ajaju there, sand and blocks all over the place. And then they pushed, and there was a house further down. So they kept on saying, "We'll move down." So we're walking. Suddenly the guy now said to me, the other guy said, "When you look, has he got anything around his neck?" I said, "No, I don't have anything." He now kicked me. Well, watch out, like, so I staggered and fell. He said, "Get down." I said, "Come on, get down." So I got down. My girlfriend was on the floor crying, "Oh, Chineke, oh, Jesus," because we were friends, we were traumatized. So I stayed on the floor. The guy now said, "Move, put your leg." He's gonna smash my leg to pieces because I didn't bring no money. So the other one now said to me, "Leave him, leave him. Happens here." So suddenly they left me. They left us, and then they now started walking towards the car. This was a long distance. They got to the car. The other one suddenly, before they drove up, the other one suddenly said, "Oh, guy, keep together. Again. Like, oh, guy, later, come and collect your car keys. I'm gonna leave it here for you." That's what the guy said in Igbo. So when he said it, I was a bit worried, I didn't, I couldn't trust what he said. So that's when I even realized that they had my car keys. Shit, I said, "Damn, that means I would have keep with them. They took my car keys." So when I got up to get my girlfriend, said, "No, be careful." So I was worried. So when they drove off, I went quickly because it was now pitch black and it was raining. Heavy rain. You know the way it rains in Nigeria, heavy rain. It was now heavy rain this time of the night. And now it's around 11-ish, 11 something. So it was raining heavily. So I now went and I started searching, and I suddenly found Totti and they looked at it with my keys. And I said, come. I told my girlfriend to come. I found the keys. And she was afraid. I said, "Don't worry." We got out to the main road because it's tarred, that road. Where they were was the tarred road as well. So we got out to the road. There was pitch black, no cars, nothing. We didn't know where to go because then we didn't know where we were. This was now 3 hours of driving head down. You didn't know where you were. So we came out. I saw a light in the distance. I headed towards the light. While we were going, I saw a taxi. And the taxi driver came and picked us up. Even I was worried to even then get into the taxi. But he picked us up and then took us and now told us that we were at Mpo. Now we were at Mpo now. And he took us to Mpo Junction, dropped us off. And that's where I chatted the keke. And we made our way back home.
All the time you were kidnapped, were you taken in the trunk of the car or were you kept inside the car and someone sat on you?
Yeah, we were kept inside the car. One guy was holding me down. The car was tinted. One guy was holding me down. The other guy sat on my girlfriend and pushed her down as well.
So hold on. So you were, where people put their legs.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So right? I had my bum on the seat, but my head was shoved down this way towards, where people. And there was a guy. The guy was sitting down. I was sitting next to him, but he held me down. So in between his legs, you see it now. So and it was squashed. I couldn't breathe. I was telling them I can't breathe. And they were saying, "Kia, you will die there. You will die. You don't want to bring money." But let me tell you what happened. What saved me really was all this time. My girlfriend was brave. I didn't know. She only told me this when we came out. We were going home. That when they came around to the car, the guy at the hammer was saying, "Open it," and because I opened my door, but you know, the central locking. When you open the driver's door, it keeps the rest locked, right? So unless you open it again, second time, then it will open everything. So when I opened mine and stepped down, she didn't want to open the house, but she said to me, when the guy was threatening with the hammer, she quickly grabbed my phone. You know me, I didn't know I was afraid. I was. She quickly grabbed my phone and my wallet, right? And held it. She said she was holding it. While the guy was saying open, she didn't want to open it because she was thinking of what to do. So immediately I got down the car. The guy went round, you know, so three of them came to intimidate me. They were shouting at me. She said she opened the door and threw my wallet and my phone into our compound. You know, so the video showed it through the gate.
Yeah.
She threw over the gate, right? And they landed there, but they didn't know. So, but one of them suspected that. That's why the guy was saying, he like very wicked woman. He saw her do something because when they went back to look for the phone, they couldn't find my phone. So what saved us was that they couldn't find my phone. Because what they wanted to do was, once they held me, they'll now tell me to open my apps, obviously go through my contacts. They'll open my app and they'll make me transfer any money I have in my account to wherever account they'll give me. That's what they do. Or probably they do it themselves. They wouldn't even tell you nothing. They'll come and open the gate, I'll come pin number, they'll threaten you, tell you they'll kill you, and they'll probably take you somewhere. And if they had that, they would have probably found out I was from London, I was from England, but I don't think they knew all this. Because if they knew, they wouldn't have, they would have kept me somewhere. You know, so that's what saved me. I'm telling you, that's what I believe. I believe that if they found my phone that day, it would have been a different story.
Wow. What a story. So at the end of the day, in as much as you didn't see the road, but you presume that they drove you within a Idemmiri. Now, do you think there is a strategy in them not taking you to any hideout? Why were they only driving around rather than take you to the kidnapper hideout or something like that?
Yeah, but you know, they were looking to meet some people. There were some people they were planning to meet. So some people, one of my friends who knows, he's a security guy, was saying to me that we're fortunate because normally what they do is they the way they say they split in the group. So one group will go out looking for people to kidnap. They will hand them over to another group who would now take you away to some other hideout. That's one analysis, right? And then the second analysis is that since the Soludo himself as a governor has brought in security, because I was going to come on to that, you know, the DSS, prior to all this, 2 or 3 weeks before, I'll say first week of, ending of June, towards the end, last 2 weeks of June, we suddenly saw the presence of DSS and all that, heavily armed in Ogidi, you know, driving around, patrolling the same road. There will be like 15 hillocks strong together driving. You know, some people were, wow, they've invaded, and criminality went for a while. So what people are saying is that these DSS guys have been going and busting a lot of their hideouts where they take people to. So they've changed their models a bit. That's what one of the people guys said, that they've changed the way they operate now. What they do is they go around picking up people, getting you, threatening you, getting you to transfer money quickly, and they'll dump you on the road. That's what
isn't that traceable when money is transferred electronically as opposed to taking cash and the disappear?
It should be. Even my girlfriend's account that had the 6,000 in it. Because her account you can't take more than you must have leave at least 1,000 in the account. 5,000 naira is still missing from that account. But obviously she's still afraid to even go about it. But obviously I'm saying it could be traced.
So how did they transfer that money, or did they use it to recharge your telephone?
I think she said it looks like they used it to do a top up or something. But she's not even. She hasn't even.
Exactly. If they use it for a top up, the DSS should be able to find out who had that.
Exactly. So the DSS came to my house that night. They came the next morning. They said they were patrolling. The next morning they came around. Said they patrolled everywhere. They looked for me all night. They were shocked to see me the next day. That they checked and everything. That they didn't see and they didn't see them. And they have intel that they're gonna follow you up and all of that. So that's it. But you're like, rightfully, what you're saying is true. They should be able to trace these things when it happens.
But did you make any official report to the DSS or to any security?
Yes, because they came around. They all knew about it. Even Igbo of Ogidi was aware. He reported himself to DSS. The local vigilantes came. The police were aware. You know, so it wasn't a hidden thing. Everyone knew about it. And I'm not, in Ogidi there, a lot of people know me. You know, So when it happened, the news broke, and a lot of people, the news just flew around that Anienwelu, was the guy from Anienwelu family was kidnapped. And so a lot of people knew about it, and even the police. So the truth is, the state of insecurity in Anambra State now, for me, like I keep on saying, I saw what happened in 2 days or whatever, the protests going on about the KK people and all that. It's to do with this Agboro issue. The Agboro ever put
what has Agboro got to do with pure criminality with guns and all the rest?
Yeah, because if there are no jobs for them to do, you understand? You have people who are ordinarily engaged in touting, right? Who are normally criminals, but a criminal who has nothing totally is a different kind of criminal from a criminal who sees something. You understand? So now, before whereas when they could go out on a day and then maybe by the time they get home they have 5K in their pocket or whatever, that could even assuage them. They go and have a drink somewhere and then to the next day they go out again. Now they're having nothing. What do you think will happen? There needs to be a real system in place to soak up all these people. You know, we're talking about,
without sounding as if one is the spokesperson of the government. But I mean, if you understand what the government is doing, it's a question of saying we are stopping this informal collection of levies, and we are they will digitalize it and encourage people to pay monthly or annually. And having done that, those who were still engaging in the Agbero, they'll come in, you come up, you go for training, you retrained, you start up something else. I mean, that's no life. No matter what, that is not, government didn't just stop Agbero and did nothing. Government stopped Agbero and have another offer. But again, if you are criminal-minded and you don't want to walk up to the government to take the offer the government is offering you, well, sorry.
Yeah, but realistically, I've been on ground. What offer is there? How well has it been communicated? I've been in Ogidi. None of the youths are knowing.
No. At least you can hear that from being announced that on the Anambra radio, Anambra Broadcasting Corporation radio, ABS, Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, Oka, Onitsha, encouraging people, even the governor himself, the last time he was in Onitsha, he keeps repeating it. I mean, even the deaf should be able to hear with the level of information that has gone out. But again, if people decide not to, that they want to engage in criminality, okay,
but even today, I was told that there was protests around Onitsha and Ogidi to do with keke drivers and all of that. They're protesting because they feel that the government's being heavy-handed. They agree with what's going on in terms of the levies being digitalized and going directly to the government coffers. Don't forget that these keke drivers are at the forefront of this harassment by Agboro. Yeah, so they understand it. But they're now complaining that the levy has been made difficult for them to pay, to afford. Whereas they said they were paying 400 naira daily before. Now they're being mandated to pay 15,000 whether they go to work or not, and all of that. You can see that some of the. So I don't think it's been thought through properly. So even with this, Agboro must go and all that. It needs to be done properly in a systematic way that would now soak up these people properly. You understand? It's not just saying, if you will come forward. You need to change them, take them actively, have a system where they're getting brought together, say to them, from now on, this place, you are now going to be called this, all of you. Remain in your positions. I'm going to know how to uniform. You need to go to do it in that manner. Not telling them to come forward. Nobody wants to come forward. Some people don't even want to be seen as Agboro even. Yeah. So you need to do it in a way that's going to be acceptable to people. So that's what I'm saying. So for me, I don't think that it's being done properly. That's my own problem with it.
Whoa, what a story. What a story indeed. Now, to wrap it up and to cap it up now, what is it that you're going to, having had this experience, if you were to speak to the security agents and if you're to speak to the government of Anambra State, what would be your take on that?
Well, definitely, we need to encourage the federal government to bring in more police. That's the only way. Bring in more police presence along the roads. Empower local vigilantes. Yeah, that's number one. Understand? Because criminality is local. All these people getting involved in those criminal acts, they're known. They're people. They're human beings. You understand? But I still say that we need to have the police architecture really come out and take charge of the state. We can't have a society where there's no police presence, and we're now relying on ragtag people to take over the secure us. We need to have the police back in place. Across the southeast, there's no police presence. What I'm telling you, there's no police presence, and this is it's a terrible thing. Any society that attacks its police is a society that is planning to fail, and that's what they've managed to do in the southeast. They've managed to instill fear in people to the extent that the police themselves are afraid. A police officer, like I told you, was shot dead on our road. So they're afraid. So what they should do now is to bring in reinforcements, which happened. I know there's going to be problems. There's going to be collateral damage, no doubt. And not just the police and the government. The citizens need to even understand what's being done. That is for their own good that the police presence is there. It's for their own good that these DSS and all that are being brought in. Because I had arguments, loads of arguments with people telling me, these DSS people, what they're doing are rounding up the youth. Because obviously they became overzealous. They were going around saying they're searching for people in the Igbo people that kill people and all that. But at the same time, they were now, unfortunately, picking up innocent youth in the community, you know. And but so you know how I told you about it the other time as well.
Yeah, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. We have another guest that is that has joined us, and that is Mazi Okoli, OjeluIgbozi. He's joined us from all the way from the United Kingdom. He is the head of Culture Congress of Igbo Leaders. Now, if you know, there is this event coming up tomorrow in the United Kingdom, and that event is nothing else than the Festival of Arts and Culture. Ebe ndị Igbo niile nọ n'ụwa niile ga-agbakọta. Onye malụ nke oji. Maazi bịazie ka ọ gwa anyị ma onwelu paracetamol na fensi ka o ji abịa. The mụnwa na onwe m ngwazi unu na mụnwa na-agakwa with the fancy da. Ọ na ntinye fancy da ọwa ọkụrụ. Akụwa m mmadụ sọfụ. Ya dịba godi na ka anyị debuligo that bat will come back now.
Anyanwụ ụtụtụ biko bịa gbala egwu. Ọ pụrụ iche nwanyị egwu apụta ọgbọ. Mmiri doro edo ka gbọrọ ji agbụgharụ. Eletrik nwanyị biko bịa gbala egwu. Iyelele anyị ekunie. Iyelele anyị abata. Iyelele ọ na-akpọtụ. Chai iyelele fanenene. Aka na-eti ịgba tibelu m ịgba m. Ọnụ na-egbu ọja bubelu m ọja m.
So welcome back, everyone. Now, Mazi Okoli, you're welcome.
Ndewo.
If Dika So Mazi Okoli, before I get into the conversation proper, you sat at the back room there. You heard every single thing Spencer narrated about the level of insecurity in the Southeast. What is your take in all that he has said, the way he was kidnapped and eventually, luckily, released that same day?
I greet you all with the sincere greetings of peace. I think when I listened to Mazi Spencer, I felt shivers in my bone. And there's no gainsaying the fact that what is happening in Igbo land today, in the Southeast especially, it's despicable. It is unheard of. I have never in my whole life and existence in Igbo land seen a situation where the Igbos have turned against themselves and spilling innocent blood of Igbo people on the earth. And we as Igbo people are a very cultural and spiritual people, and we know the consequences of spilling innocent blood on our land. There are grave consequences. Generations unborn will suffer for the sins that we've committed. We are still battling with over 3 million blood spilled on our land that we are suffering for. And now we are consciously inflicting pain, agony, and anguish upon our own self, traumatizing our citizens. And most of us have said it, that this is not we. This is not us as Igbo. Starting from the seat at home that has wrecked our economy to the infliction now of pain upon us as people. Ndị Igbo na-egbuzi ndị Igbo. It is unheard of. As na onye Igbo bee akwa, nwanne ya jụọ ya ogene na-eme. Kịtazi onye Igbo na-atọrụzi Igbo. Igbo land adịrọzi safe now. People sizie nakwa n'ọzi Asaba n'ọzi na Asaba ka a na-agbadazi. You know, it's unheard of. And the pain every person is feeling cannot be captured in one interview. When I call home and I talk to my siblings or my mother and everybody, you can imagine when an Arondizuogo man now is even afraid to travel to Ikeji, then a man in ihe na obodo ndị mmụọ, you know. And when we get to such a level that a spiritual human being, a spiritual being from Arondizuogo will be scared to go down to Ikeji, we go to Ikeji no matter the odds, even during the war. The bombs we are dropping, we still found time to celebrate our culture and our tradition. And now Igbos are in pain, traumatized, and not by any other person, but by us. Because from when I listened to him, the language was Igbo. I've seen videos and videos and videos. So there is no lying. Nobody should lie to us anymore that this pain is from somewhere in the north, or this pain is from somewhere from the blues. No, this is now Igbos against Igbos. And the earlier our women rise up, I was telling somebody in a separate interview the other day, I said the only salvation today now is the Igbo women. Because when things like this happen in Igbo land, in the days of our father, in the days of our ancestors, the women, Umuopo, will get up and say enough is enough. Where are our spiritual leaders? Where are all the chief priests in Igbo land? What happened to all the deities in Igbo land? Because we have become Christians, now we are moving towards extinction, and the things that saved our forefathers are no longer being used. When Igbo land was Igbo land, this is now when women will rise up and say enough is enough. They know what to do. Umuaku know what to do. Umuada know what to do. The chief priests know what to do. When it was Igbo land, when an Igwe, an Eze, will sit on the offer and take oath, we know what to do in the shrines. And all this havoc will stop. Every town in Igbo land have ways of curbing this sort of thing. Nwa ọbụna tinyere aka n'ife ọjọọ ya na dibịa ọbụna na-agwọ ọgwụ ọjọọ na-agwọrọ ụmụaka ọdechi ewepụ ya. That was when Igbo was Igbo. Mana kịta ka ezi ihe na-eme.
You know, in your submission, you talked about Igwe, but we have also seen videos in the boundaries between Anambra and Imo State where royal fathers are kidnapped, taken. We see videos where people, younger ones, point gun and put gun in their mouth, saying that they will kill them. We've seen videos where they've actually cannibalized the bodies and eat them, roast them like you roast yam. Eat them. You know, there are things that sometimes you see some videos and you kind of tell yourself, I wish I can unwatch them, never to see them, that something like that ever happened. Now, you talked about Izog. Obviously, you're from around Izog. On the 29th of December, I went to Ngwa and I used Izog. I went through Umunza, busting out at Izog, wanting to connect Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway. And in doing that, before that Okigwe, I saw two men, the Arondizog vigilante, on bike, sped past me. In my front there, a white Lexus. They just took the passengers and they all left inside the bush. The car in my front was steaming. Beside them were the police officers that have, obviously, I think they've been radioed and they were there. It was, I will call it a close encounter. And I'm saying this happened on the 29th of December 2021. And that road, as it is today, ask anybody, they will tell you, well, going through there, going through Munochi, it's like going through a death trap. What could be done to salvage the situation? Because, as they say, as the legend and our father, Chinua Achebe, once said, that things have fallen apart, and it is the center of that Igbo nation appears not being able to hold. What's your take?
There was something Mazi Spencer said in his interview. He mentioned that you cannot travel around the whole of Igbo land and see no police presence in Igbo land. We saw a situation where there's this madness in Igbo land. I call it craziness in Igbo land, that we started burning infrastructures that our parents, and we as communities built. Police stations in Igbo land were burnt. Did you look at the statistics of a lot of police officers that were killed in Igbo land? 70% or 85% of them were Igbos. So we wasted our own brothers and sisters. We killed the security forces that under normal circumstances should have been protecting our land. And then we expect to have peace. Now you mentioned our town. Aaron Dizog, when Aaron Dizog was Aaron Dizog, I don't think any human being born of a woman can come into our town to do that sort of thing. We've passed through stages in life. Go and ask people. The Nigerian Civil War did not even have any significant effect on Aaron Dizog. So the question that you begin to ask yourself, where are the mights of Igbo land? Where are the spiritual powers of Igbo land? Where have they all gone to? That today, Anigwe, you mentioned it, listen, Anigwe eze na Igbo. Kofu akari ogori ga-apụta tụọ ya egbe. When Igbo land was Igbo land, that person will be in the forest hunting antelopes. You cannot stand before an eze, ejiofo, we chie na Igbo, Ogigbo Igbo. Gaba nime ofia, not 3 weeks or 4 weeks before his coronation. Oburo kalamado kalamo. Opota, obagoku igente. But kejibe na ma Igbo, apotasino autonomous community. Ewepute somebody who has no class, ejiofo chieze, asino bulugeze. And na apotosi omena. Every nation that fights against their culture will pay severely for it. And that's what we are seeing. Our young people have been brought up without cultural and traditional ethics. We are now worshiping money. So what actually the 12 blue Lexus, Okoli aka apoyo water keneze, apoya mata kibia. And what was the moral na Igbo? These native doctors on our Romaka or Dieshi on the Rebecca Fassi, Fanana Igbo. So the different men are talking about onye nwere ike Chineke nyere ya ọ ga-eji mmeri a n'Igbo ife ọma o were ya na-eme ife ọjọọ edu na onye afọ obodo nna ya Igbo nwere culture.
Onwe gọvanọ bidolu kpụkọba ndị na-eme ya bụ ife ndị mmadụ wee bido tiwe na ya bụ gọvanọ na ọ na-eme ndị dibịa nkenwa ọ dịka akwụsịkwa mana ya bụ ife and mgbe ụfọdụ dịka na-aghọrọ ụmụazị ya maka na ịbịa n'anya ịfụfa nke enwe ndị nke a enwudesia na Anambra ife ụmụazị 20 something onye nke enwudezi ife ihe a na-ekwu gbafuo ya na anyị na-ene ihe ọnya n'ukwu ị na-ajụzi ya ọ na-asị gị na ọ na-eme na ọ dị sọrị mana ọ na-adị sọrị mana o gbusigwo mmadụ enwe ike ndị polisi 10, 11, 12, 15 ogbugo ndị ahụ ya nachigata
ọ maara chiata ma ndị nne nwatakịrị pụọ kịta o buru Lexus o buru ihe ọwụna mmadụ amara ọbata ndị nne akọrịa aka echie nne onye afọ ezi nne na Catholic Church na Anglican Church achọọ ya ofu afa nye ya maka na nwa ya na-eme ọfụma onwerozi onye na-ajụ ese ndị niile na-agbazi mbọ onwerozi onye na-ama onye na-agba mbọ Anigbo emebigo. Anigbo emebigo.
Mazi, can I say something in line with this? Because
yes,
and we have noticed in Igbo now, yeah, and we're a lot of native doctors. And they're gonna pastors and maybe in Igbo, native doctors and maybe in Igbo. All these Yahoo boys, if they get has no okay, this that, yeah. They got home marker. They put legs to be again Highland and Kedibia. When you can again, I if we are saying this, and I manage to Hokite. Yeah, Hagazi guys for Hana Memoya. Oh, she did a fraud, criminality. We're endorsing it in Igbo. What's it? People are. I was not Igbo for a long time, almost 6 months. So I was in Igbo land when I could be in. We're not being honest to ourselves. Our children, our young boys, you need slippers, you need socks, and then you need a machine. And I thought, 419 Yahoo boys. Now, here I got Libya. Libya, I got Libya, and then I go over the city and then I got a whole key there. Some of them are being celebrated on Facebook. You see them. Where are Washington? And then, yeah, wrong. I need to be the where are our elders? Where are our elders now? Yeah, now what did it? Let me tell you my own capacity. After this happened to me, we have no youth. And I called youth now came to my compound. Some boys they go say or youth now do you know what happened? And I started putting them together and made meeting at them. Every sit at home, because sit at home these days, every Monday we sit at home. Why him it? He got that road because on a Monday, you know how busy they only watching the other videos. How busy normally is. Sit at home is dead. Just Nalibo is dead. Where are they? Sometimes Monday, Tuesday were dead. And I call nonsense. What rubbish are we dealing with? Wake up. So that's right. How many man, the people who have done them. And you don't blame people. Sometimes sit at home, good machine work. Because I made him a cycle. He motor, I got so we motor with you got risk. More machine for yeah, on the machine, you go more machine pass. So afraid. Jesus. From morning to when anybody hit the on I was about 4 or 5. But not sit at home. Terrible. We need to start telling ourselves the truth. We're not getting it right.
Thank you.
And also in our own capacities, we need to start doing it individually. When we have make a youth, like now, our youth have woken up. I managed to put together a forum. With 100 and something of our youths all over the world. We now put them in one WhatsApp group. Now we're now putting together vigilante, putting together people a bit of the late way. Things are happening. Man, it's not left for government. And maybe go to tell. If you are not good police,
hold on.
What do you expect?
Spencer, Okwimana. The vigilantes are basically incapacitated. You know why? Because what they do is that they go to the vigilantes, they take all their walking sticks, and obviously if they have remnants of granats, they take them, and that's all. There is nothing else.
True.
You call vigilantes now. I was surprised to see that vigilante in that video that you sent, walking around with that walking stick there. Normally they just walk with cane.
Yes. Amen. Go get the vigilante guy. We don't vigilante with vigilante Igwe. So when they because I know Igwe getting knows me. So I know they will. I don't know Chicana. They will rally out. And in Ogidi, I must say vigilante Ogidi they were a bit more active.
And I didn't more active. Onwelu, one of the head of the vigilante, and no Nababulia before, isn't Onyo Ogidi?
Who head of? He was the
head of youth. Onyo is in the youth.
Yeah, that was the youth. That was African. Well, we don't know exactly what happened. No. What I'm saying is there was no conclusive evidence. That court-related issues.
Anyway, let me bring Mazi. Let me bring Mazi Okoli. Mazi.
Yeah.
That we need to go back to that which made us in the Igbo. That brings me to the event that you are leading and the organization in the United Kingdom, the event that is happening tomorrow. Can you tell us more about this event, please?
Ihe anyị na-eme echi wo ihe anyị kpọrọ ụbọchị Igbo, Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture. Festival a bidokwa ahọ itenanị gara aga. Sorry, ahọ itenanị gara aga ka oge m batara na obodo a, esi m Germany bata ebe a, na-ene ndị Igbo si na ha na-eme Igbo Day n'ime hall. Ụmụ Igbo akwụọ ụgwọ gate fee na-akpuo na hall si nọ Igbo Day ka ha na-eme. Mụnwa jee ofu, o nwere ụmụaka m fụrụ ebe ahụ. Ụmụaka m fụrụ nwebere just very few numbers of ụmụaka nọ ebe ahụ that day. So mechaa anọ m na TV na-afụ Valentine eze Igbo Amaka, were nọmba kpọọ ya si ya nna na m fụrụ Igbo Day unu mere na hall, ụmụaka anyị anọrọ ya, o nwere ife m fụrụ emetere kpọrọ Igbo Day. Biko o nwere possible na anyị ga-achọ ebe anyị ga-eme Igbo Day n'ilo, ụmụaka anyị were fụ omenala Igbo nọrọ emekọta arụ. Ọ sị m na ya nwago na ya nwere ike na ọ dịrọ possible, but ka anyị mekwuo ofu, anyị mee ofu Chief Nwakaibia na Nnobi wepụta ego ofu about 2,600, mụnwa wepụta 2,300. anyị mee Igbo Day, the last Igbo Day emere n'ime hall. So emechaa ya, anyị wee kpọọ onwe anyị oku, anyị nọ wee bido grupu anyị bidoro, otu anyị bidoro a na-akpọ Congress of Igbo Leaders. So ife anyị mere bụ anyị dere ndị Igbo, ndị isi Igbo niile, ndị ndu Igbo niile na sekretrị fa sịfa ka anyị nọkọ kpaa nkata. Anyị kpasịa nkata, onye ọbụla ife anyị kpatara, onye ọbụla ji egwa ndị obodo fa n'ọka nna nna anyị fa si eme ya. Ụmụnna nọkọ atụnyekọ akpakọ alụ, akpacha onye ọbụla ejezie ezinụlọ ya. So otu a ka anyị si nọ wee bido Congress of Igbo Leaders, and one of the big events I si ka anyị na-eme bụ this Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture, IFAC. Afọ anyị bakwara na IFAC, anyị wepụtara ya from Festac 79. Ị ga-echeta Festac emere na Nigeria. So anyị nwa were Igbo tinye ya n'isi, kpọzie Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture. So anyị bido ya na 2013. Ọ na-aga ka a ga-eme ka eme ụfọdụ oge ndị mmadụ abịa, mana anyị bidoro jebe ebe niile ndị Igbo na-anọkọ zie efe ozi sifa na-ekwe our mission and our vision na ife anyị chọrọ ka eme ka ụmụaka anyị nwee identity. Ọ ga-abụ onye Igbo na-eje n'ụzọ o yiri efe Igbo, ọzi kịta ka ị ga-apụta na London iyiri efe Igbo na-eje ịfụ mmadụ slow down wine ya moto kpọọ tuo gị igwe echi ya, mana identity ife ịkpọrọ onwe gị ka a ga-akpọ, ife ịkpọrọ nkịta gị ka ọ ga-aza. So our main goal and our mission na United Kingdom wụ inye pride in Igbo culture. Ifu ndị Hindu, ifu ndị India ka yiri efe India na-akpagharị n'ụzọ, anyị nwapụta ya akpọ suit na-anwụ na-achọ ịdọgbu onwe anyị. Onye kpọrọ tai na ala Igbo wụ ụdọ ka ọ chọrọ ịkwụ, anyị na-akwụgharị ụdọ n'obodo oyibo, mana Britain anyị nọ ifugo ka ọ dị. Onye ọbụla na-eme because of the cultural hegemony nọ ebe a. You can be yourself, you can be your nation, but you are still British. Ka Spencer, you're still British. So the whole thing, away bidia. The first time I met ya, I zie ndị Nnewi ozi, Nnewi pụta, obodo Nwakaibia ha Nnobi pụta, Arọ Chukwu pụta, Arọ ndị Izuọgụ pụta, emesịa ya uru alafa na ndị ọzọ pụtasịa, ọ nọkatakwa ọda mba. I tabakwa afọ dị ya, anyị nọkatazie move to 21 communities, move to 31 communities, move to 58. Ebe anyị nọzi kịta bụ na anyị na-achọzi space. Nke anyị mere na-arọ na-abọ gara aga 2019, anyị nwere about 6,431 people there in the whole thing, maka na ndị anyị yuzuru ifefa gụrụ ọnụ. So nke anyị na-emekwana kịta, anyị nwere about 100 communities ga-perform na echi niile. Obodo ọbụla bụ obodo Igbo, obodo ọbụla eji mara Igbo na-apụta echi, ma Abịrịba, ma Arọ ndị Izuọgụ, ma Arọ Chukwu, ma ọzọ ụbụrụ. Ife ọbụla, in short, obodo ọbụla bụ obodo n'ala Igbo. Ọ bụrụ na ị chọọ obodo gị ịfụrụ ya echi niile, mara na fe sọrọ n'ala Igbo. Mara na ndị afọ anago ka atọrọ obodo na-anọrọ ebe ahụ echi
biko ngwanụ
obodo na-anọrọ ebe ahụ echi achọọ
Maazi Ezeoke n'onwe ya nọ na London and Maazi Ezeoke ga-anọ na emume a na-ekwu echi ifugo ihe a dị na ihu onyonyo anyị n'ihu mpịaji akwụkwọ yanwa bụ ihe anyị na-ekwu na Maazi Ezeoke ga-anọkwuazi ebe a and ndị ga-anọ n'ụlọ enwetara visa ndị enwetara visa ka dị ka ọtụtụ n'ime anyị nwetanwu visa ọ bụrụ na ị nwetara visa anyị nwe ebe anyị enye gị free visa jee na njem media tv na iyi enweta free visa maka na olu echi na ọ ya akpọtụ anyị afụ ka Maazị Okoli na ọ dị nke onwelu ka o si kwadobe ive bụ na-emebi ive na o nwee ka mba nke mbọsị ihe aṅụ ghọrọ mmọnwụ emena ihe ka ịha emena ihe ya majụọ isi ya kịta ofu aka nwere ike kpọjie mana ya dịba so kedu mgbe ya bụ ihe ya ebido echi?
Ọ ga-ebido n'elekere 10 n'ụtụtụ anyị akụrụ ya wee ruo elekere 8 na mgbede uhuruchi echi. Ihe niile anyị jikwa na-eme ife a adịgo, ndị igwe abatago, eze ụmụna nọ ebe a ọ gbalụ na ya, eze oke osisi na ya, ndị delta zitekwere mmadụ 3 ka ha bịa nọchie anya gọvanọ delta steeti pasi ka fa bịa fụ ife anyị na-eme ka fa mara ma ọ ga-eme ya na delta na ife anyị na-eme atọka. Ndị Amerịka anyị nwetacha visitors from America, osi Imo, ha niile esigo Amerịka bata, ụmụ students si Poland abatago, ndị si Britain. O nwere hotel anyị jere icheck in now, ha na-ene anya fa niile abatago check be into hotel ebe anyị nọdụ kịta. Afụrụ m ndị Igbo oge anyị na-abata, ha na-asụ Igbo, fa mara n'ọmụ. Anyị yiri m t-shirt na tracksuit, ọ dịzie ka young man. Mana echi niile ife niile ndị sicha ma Wales ma Nottingham fa niile abatago today. Akpọrọ nwata kpọcha aka fafa sị m na fa eburugolu m ụzọ nọrụ na London. So njinji ga-eji echi. Onwe obodo niile akwadogo, anyị nwere complete performance and back to back, and enwekwere ndị ga-anata award echi. Delegates from Anambra State, unfortunately anyị nọ na-echefa embassy release their visa, but normally Anambra gara inwe 4 delegates. The Imo delegate abatago Norores chinchem. Echi niile fa niile ga-apụta. Anyị nwekwara ike nwee an unexpected guest echi, unexpected big masquerade na our midst echi, mana ka anyị na-ene anya ka o si aga. Mana Izuọgụ na ihe emekwadoro ọfụma. Ihe niile eji mara Izuọgụ si anya apụta echi. Anyị ga-eme mmọnwụ mee ya ọfụma. Ndị mmadụ afụkwa ka esi eme ya n'ụlọ. Ụmụaka anyị akwadochana. Ada m nwaanyị kịta ka m na-ene anya, ọ na-akpa isi ya were ọmụ aro, na-ajụ m ka esi eke ya. Echi niile ka oke wepụta zaa obodo nna ya, maka na Izuọgụ niile na-apụta echi anyị niile ga-eyi ọmụ aro ma arọ Chukwu ka e wee mara nọ ebe anyị si. Obodo niile kwa, ma ndị Uruala ma ndị Ogidi ma ndị Ọkịja, fa niile akwadogo. Echi niile njinji ga-eji.
Ya bụ ihe ọ ya adịkwa ka ọ ya adị ka esi ikwu ya echi nke nwa n'ọchifu a sị na chijileji efokwa efo a na-ama atụ ụtụ ọhụrụ dịka ọdịnolu. Ọ bịagba maịga aka onye na-apụta ya isi itete ha n'ụlọ, ọ bụla ya bụ ife a na-ekwu. So dịka isi ikwu ihe a, ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ dịka ị na-akọwasị ndị ga-esi Naijiria bịa, ndị ga-abịagasịnụ, ama m na eji m aka na agaghị enwe ihe dịka ndị a ga-eme ụdị ihe mere na Germany, ndị jere iri ji wee mee ihe na-adịghị mma. Ama eji n'aka na ụdị ha na unu hibere na ụdị ha.
Mba, anyị zuru ka eme. Ịpụta na facilitators, ụmụ nwoke nọ na facilitators, ọ wụrụ ọkpọ aka anyị zuru ka eme. Security dị very, anyị nwere security more than 25. Anyị nwere counter terrorist undercover above. I'm well volunteers from CIL. Working on at volunteer, working on at CIL. I zuru keme. If from Lotanna, Malota Aranotu. If on any gamma na izu keme. Onye chọọ so gwa ye buri anisi. I will work a juru Dr. Okolobia. So onye ọbụla na-abata n'ebe afọ ga-eji udo bata were udo na onye si nọ na bịa ka anyị ga-esi anyị esieri ya nka kwa osie.
Anwa ịdị na nke nwadị na iyaji anwa bụ na otu onye esi na-echọ onye chọrọ ya na fensi ka unu nọ onye chọrọ ya na isi ọgụ na ihe eme
anyị juru ana bi na aka m n'ọnụ na ebe ahụ echi onye si n'ọka ekpo ya n'ọkpa ekpo ya n'ọkpa ọfọ n'anya.
Nwanne m, it's a very big pleasure to have both of you. And we will anchor on this, the event tomorrow again. Would you be able to tell us the address for those for those that might not have, gotten the memo? Yeah, the event is the Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture. Is the 8th edition of this festival. It will be taking place at the Jubilee Park, Enfield, Jubilee Crescent, N9, 7NU. It's a free event. We expect a lot of water, a lot of love, and food. Come in there. Food is free. The Igbo cultural magnanimity and hospitality will be exhibited tomorrow. For those who don't have communities, we have canopies for you where you can sit quietly. There will be food. Children will get their burgers free. They will get their freebies free. Our children have T-shirts. We have T-shirts sponsored for all the children from 9 years downwards. They will have their proudly Igbo T-shirts to wear tomorrow and have a unique identity. We have the medical team on the ground. We have over 15 medical doctors and nurse volunteers that will attend to any security. In terms of security, like I said, we are fully equipped for tomorrow. We've provided WCs, everything that you need to have in a festival. We have the local hospital here standing by for any rapid response of ambulance or in the event of anything. We advise people not to drive to the venue, but to use the Edmonton shopping center if they must drive. It's a parking space for £10 the whole day. So we advise people to park their cars there so that we don't inconvenience the neighbors in the area. Waste management is tops. We will be clearing the field once after the event. We have a lot of cleaners to do all that job. The trophies have arrived. We have people that will be receiving medals of award for their outstanding commitment in the Igbo society. So we have a full package tomorrow, and the Igbos have arrived. They will be escorted in by the all traditional title holders and the Council of Undins and also and the Imobi and the facilitators of Congress of Igbo leaders with the heads of department. We will give our Igwes and our Ndeze the due respect that they require according to Igbo culture. There will be a solemn procession into the venue, the way the Igbos do things. We highly respect our Ezes, and we will accord that serious respect to them tomorrow. And they will see that being in UK, that we've not lost our touch for our culture and tradition and respect for our elders. Thank you very much, Maazi Okoli. On that note, we will anchor, and it's been a wonderful time to have you both here. And Spencer, once more, thank you very much. And once more, again, sorry for all the let's say slight misfortune, but thank God that, you
Spencer, on behalf of Igbo land, we seriously apologize to you. And we love you as a person. I don't know why any Igbo person will want to hurt you. But if we go now, if any man are Igbo, we shouldn't be hurting ourselves. And like you've said, most of us that have the voices will rise up and speak the truth. Yeah. This is not Igbo land. It should not happen anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mazi. Mazi, I need to say thank you very much. MaaziEzeoke. Obviously we have our own platform as well, Private Television, which we have been, myself and Lady Marlene, who apparently is running for House of Representatives. Umahia, North constituency, and she's still in Nigeria in Abuja. So I'll say a shout out to her. And you know, I have a program which will be good has come attended. Mazi, I think I'll invite you to my program. MaaziEzeoke.
You know,
no, it's fine. We work together. We must collaborate.
It's fine.
Yes,
let's not forget that this is our Friday hangout. Then it's also we can close
yes.
with a drink.
I have mine. So cheers, everyone.
Yes, I have my non-alcoholic water.
I'm happy to be alive. Mazi,
yes. You're welcome. See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll have a picture where we're taking my money.
Yeah, it's fine. Then I said to you, Mazi Okoli.
Yes.
Have a blessed day, sir.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
No.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Fantastic. Let's go and enjoy ourselves.
Anyanwụ ụtụtụ ego bịa gbala egwu ọ pụrụ iche nwanyị egwu apụta ọgbọ mmiri doro edo ka gbọghọ ji agbụgharụ eletrik nwanyị biko bịa gbala egwu iyelele anyị ekunie iyelele anyị abata iyelele ọ na-akpọtụ chai iyelele fanenene aka na-eti igba